Start stream. Probably completely black.
It looks black, but we are live.
Okay. There we
This
go.
is how Friday the 13th
Yeah,
really
this
looks.
is Friday. This is first person view of Friday the 13th. So, okay. Let's get some streams up here. Who's still racing? Who's still racing here? Throw me some names. I'll do a quick like multi Twitch. Hey everyone, no, this is first per FPS Friday the 13th, okay? Or this is Young Indiana Jones Mexico Stage 2 in the caverns.
All right, so as these streams are coming up, I'm gonna pull some other people in. Let's pull in Firebroth here.
Yeah, as we're talking chat, let us know if there's audio balancing issues too, as we're getting kind of reset up to keep doing with some interviews.
Firebroth.
Oh, whoops.
Hi, Firebroth.
Hey,
we just kind of brought you in without a warning. Sorry.
No problem.
So
no problem.
we just started the stream up again. It's a black screen, which means everyone's listening to you and only to you. What do you have to say?
Oh, it's just me. GG's for sure. Thanks everyone for putting on this race. It was a ton of fun, like it always is. Just great month of practice, and yeah, it's just the whole thing's just a blast.
Yeah, you got 7th place with a 308, and you were just a few seconds ahead of Let Create, just a little bit behind Gray Skull. You're like right in like the thick of things. There's so many people around that like 306, 307, 308, 309 area. What were the games that gave you the most difficulty as you were working on this?
Ooh, throughout them, definitely Tecmo was up there. I had some definitely some struggles with that one. Luckily, it went good today, but yeah, there was some rage moments a couple weeks ago, but we were finally dialing it in. But yeah, just getting those safeties is really tough. Let's see other games though. I mean, Friday the 13th was giving me a lot. The last 2 full runs, Jason killed me and robbed 2 PBs from me on those, so I was definitely nervous. But we ground out some Friday the 13th before the race here, and yeah, luckily finished it off and secured the PB with that first one and done on Jason. So I'm super relieved on that for sure. Other than that, though, there wasn't too many. I'm trying to think here. Yeah, those are probably the I'm thinking more like race problems here. The listing to learn wasn't didn't seem too bad. It flowed pretty smoothly. I'd have to say. There's a lot of games that I was able to pick up relatively quick.
Yeah, Friday the 13th, I think, hurt everyone except for Prissy. Prissy was fine. But yeah, like everyone ran into Jason and like took a little bit too much damage. Took a hug, to steal a phrase from Looking for Giants. And I remember like watching people practice. I lurked in your stream some, and people really focused on figuring it out. Like, how do I do this safely? How do I do it consistently? And it really seemed to fall apart on race day for just about everybody. So definitely a scary game.
Very scary. Yeah, it's you make just a minor mistake and Jason's gone in the woods and everything's screwed up and ugh. Yeah, I think my run is sketchy too. I think both times Apollo said I was at like 1 health. And I know that at the end I looked at my life bar and I was just happy that he was dead and I was not dead.
Yeah.
But at least there's a backup for that though. If you die like in the end there, you can just go with Mark and rock him down, which I've had to do a few times.
So what number Big 20 is this for you? Like, how many have you entered? Because you've entered a lot of them.
Yeah, I think this is lucky number 13 for me.
13. That's way more than I've done.
Nice. So you've only missed 5 of them
Yep,
in the history of Big 20. Wow.
Because I've done them all since number 6, and I was gonna do number 5, but I didn't. I trained all the games except Metroid, and came to race day, and I was just too scared.
Yeah. So your first Big 20 was 7 years ago in 3 days.
That's insane to think.
March 5th, 2017.
Whew, what a 7 years it's been. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of gaming.
I mean, playing for this long and like getting top 10 in such a difficult list of games. Like so many things can go wrong. So I'm kind of interested in your thought on this. Like, what do you think of this list as opposed to some of the past lists? Because this one felt a little bit different.
Yeah, it felt a little different. I don't know. It kind of they all start to kind of blend together a little bit, but this was a good one. This was a really fun list to play. Yeah, a lot of pitfalls. I mean, that kind of this seems to happen with other lists too. Maybe not as plentiful, but there's always dangerous games or spots where you really don't want to. Where you can use just loads of time. Always spots to look out for. I mean, that's just part of the training. I look for those pretty immediately and try to grind out where the biggest potential time losses can be and make sure those are squared away and then kind of work down from there.
And so I guess with you being in so many of these, like, where do you rank this list compared to some of the others?
That's a tough question because it's all, like I said, they all kind of blend together in a massive Big 20 for me. I'd say it's right up there with like, I mean, because I enjoyed it a lot, and it's hard because it's fresh in my head. And I don't necessarily have like a favorite list. I don't think it's not something I've thought about too much, but I think this is like it holds the standard quality and maybe a touch above that standard quality, which is always I think very high for these lists. I think you guys do an amazing job of putting these things together.
Nice. I mean, I guess in the spirit of trying to let everyone have a say in here, anything else you want to say? Want to give you a chance just to kind of wrap up, and if there's anything you want to say to your fans, now's the time.
For sure. Yeah, big GGs to everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed the race. I'm gonna definitely enjoy the watch back, and yeah, we'll definitely see y'all next time. I'll be here. I can't stop. Send help. I can't stop playing Big 20 for life. I love it though. I'll keep going. It's tons of fun. GGs, and we'll catch y'all next time.
Yeah, congrats, Firebroth. Have a good rest of the night.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Okay, so we have Chill Runs next. Chill Runs, how are you doing?
He may not.
Chill Runs may be AFK. Chill Runs is waiting in the join this before call channel for quite a while, so we will check out Lynn Carius first and come back to Chill Runs.
Okay, I just pulled in Lincarius. How are you? How you feeling?
Doing good. I was definitely in panic mode during Jurassic Park fails.
It's always your game that you have to really worry about.
Oh god, yeah. Anything that could have gone wrong in that run, I felt like did. But at least my indie finished stronger than I was expecting, and same with Friday the 13th, which is my least favorite of the group.
Good. I mean, hey, compared to the rest of the field, I mean, if Friday the 13th went okay, I feel like you're doing well.
Yeah, this was a great, I felt it was a great race. I loved most of the games in this pile. I mean, the spread was awesome. I'm not a sports gamer, obviously, but I was super happy getting that 50K proc on the Life Force, so I was right out of the gate.
But you got it?
Yeah.
At one point, you were in the lead then.
54,000. I'm like, whoa, let's go. Oh, but GG's to everybody. This has been one heck of a race, and definitely an unforgettable first time taking part in a Big 20.
I hope you join more of these. Like, it was like one of the highlights of the Big 20 is obviously the race, but for me, it's the practice time and like the time tracker. You see somebody just pull up a gold and you go, who is this guy? And then you go look at their stream and they're like, oh yeah, I love this game, or I've got the top 3 time or whatever. And then they share all of their knowledge with everybody. And you did that with Jurassic Park, and you walked around and you like took little bits because everyone's exploring. You're like, oh, I like that shot. Yoink. I like that shot. Yoink. And during the Big 20 practice, you got a new world record in Jurassic Park. Is that right?
Yep, I was definitely utilizing the stage 3 reroute you found, and that was good time save there on that, and just had some amazing levels after which I'll probably never see again. Let's be honest. That was an incredibly wild run for Jurassic Park on that one. But seriously, I want to thank the community for everything they've done on that game. It's been crazy fun seeing more people run that game. I've super high passion for it and Life Force. Those were my first two vanilla speedruns, hands down, and it's been a blast seeing these games get pushed the way that they have.
So, having it being your first time doing a Big 20, like how was the process of learning all the games, like working with each other to try to learn strats? Like how was that experience for you?
I was lurking in every single scenario I could and looking at what people were doing, learning as much as I could about everything, especially because I didn't have full time to actually practice the games because my work schedule says I can't really take part in practice on the days that I work. So anytime I was working and I had the free time, I was in a stream watching someone practice, learning that way.
So, since this was your first Big 20, you're obviously hooked and you're going to join the next one. What do you think you're going to change about your practice habits for the next one you join?
I kind of felt like I worked for the good part, and I'll probably stick to this plan unless something else seems to work better for me. But it's going to be... It's definitely going to depend on what games are on this next one, for sure, because I know it's a popular one, and I don't have a lot of experience with the more popular games.
Well, there might be some changes. We'll see. We're still looking at stuff, but I will say that I wasn't very familiar with the popular games when 13 came out, and I joined it, and there's just so much information out there that learning those games is a lot faster. So it may be easier than you would expect.
I just know my thumb is going to thank me for taking a brief break after this.
Yeah.
Always good to recover afterwards.
I want to touch on all of the Big 20 games in some capacity, and I was like looking at the list, and I was like, okay, not Jurassic Park, not Battle Kid, anything that requires pressing my thumb fast, just not those games. Tip of my thumb is very sore from Jurassic Park.
Definitely wears on the thumb, even with a emulator controller that I use when I'm not doing this. Seriously, thank you all for putting this on. It's been a blast.
You're
Awesome.
welcome.
Any
All right, we're
last
gonna-
words?
I'm looking forward to the next one for sure.
Good.
And GG's to everybody.
GG's to you too. You did very well for your first time entering. Like this is a big event. Like it's hard. It's hard for people who have done them before. It's very stressful. Like you did very well. So GG.
Thank you.
And I think
Nice.
as OS brings in our next interviewer, I do want to call out all the next finishers. We did have, I think we got through the first 31. So in 32nd, we had McDoodle. We have Ahmad in 33rd. Level Engine, Magic K, Jambone Rodriguez, Tecalate, Sinan, Scarpop, Analisial, Omega Coma, and Macarius Wrench in 40 seconds. So we're up to over 40 finishers already at sub 4 hours.
Wow. All right, Children, you are live.
Hello? Can you hear
How?
me?
Yep, we can hear you. How'd the race go for you?
Oh, it went pretty well. You know, I had some issues that kind of got me in my head about everything, but overall, you know, I'm happy with how it went. And it's my first Big 20. I had a really good time. I'm looking forward to doing another one for sure.
I'm loving that everyone's already looking forward to the next one.
Yep.
Yeah, and
the next
fifth-
one coming up, all those popular games. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
15th place in your first one is actually a really good finish too. So,
Yeah, thank you
GG's.
so much. I appreciate it.
So what did you think of the list overall?
I generally really liked the list. When it was revealed, you know, there were some that I wasn't too jazzed about because they're different than speedruns that I might take on.
Mhm.
And Tetris 2 being one of those. Just scrolling down the list here, I mean, Rampart, you know, kind of falls in the same category, Millipede also. But as I get into it, I kind of appreciated that the list took me out of my comfort zone for speedrunning. Made me play some games and learn some games that I wasn't familiar with and that were in categories that I wasn't familiar with. I felt like it made me grow.
That's a big part of the Big 20. Like, if it was only games of like one type or games that somebody just already knew all of them, and then somebody won, it's like, well, yeah, but they're an expert in those games. But no one that comes into like a Big 20 like this is no one has smooth sailing. Like, Percy might be really good at Mega Man 4, but I watched him spend hours on Tecmo Super Bowl trying to figure out American football. There's always something for everybody that's going to trip them up. And
Yeah, and that added a lot of challenge to kind of allocating the practice time and deciding what to spend time on. There were so many hours spent on Tetris 2, and a lot of the time I was thinking, is this the right place to spend time? I'm not sure. And that was a lot of the challenges, kind of working out how to schedule practice, figure out what I might be missing, what I might be costing myself if I'm spending time on this rather than this. It was very interesting to go through that.
What was your strategy for just kind of scheduling practice?
Well, it changed a few times actually, because I would kind of just played casually through the games for a week, and at the end of that week, I was like, okay, looking at everybody else and what they're doing, I don't think I can do this. I think I have to do something more rigorous. So I kind of switched over to more of a, okay, I'm going to get the videos for all the world records, have them all available, kind of focus on 1 or 2 games a day, and instead of sort of feeling my way through getting faster, actually try to learn it more rigorously, try to maybe from scratch learn the game at the world record level if I can, with obviously some concessions there. If something looks difficult, then just find something safe in the meantime and come back to it later, that kind of thing. But I definitely took more of a scheduled approach as we went into week 2 and on.
I very much appreciate the analytical approach.
Yeah, as someone who has so many spreadsheets in his speedrunning OS, I can understand how you appreciate that.
It is delicious.
Yeah, it helped
I
out a
love the
lot.
spreadsheets.
I feel like it was distracting though in a certain way too, because it also, I'd get focused on this one game and want to continue on that, but I don't think I necessarily put all the time I needed into making sure everything was ready before the event. So that's going into the next one. That's what I'm going to work on next, is have some sort of strategy to be looking at everything, the status of everything. Are we practiced here? Have I neglected this for like 3 days? That kind of thing.
I'll send you my practice spreadsheet.
Yeah,
See
that'd
what
be
I
great.
did.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
I was gonna say, I think that's one of the best things you can do from like a first to a second one, because the first one you never really know what like practice is going to be like, what the race is like, but making those adjustments between your first and second one, I feel like you can do quite a bit better on the subsequent ones. So good luck on the future ones for sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I believe it.
All right, we're going to be bringing Carter Freak in. Do you have any final thoughts, any closing statements?
Just for anyone who wants to get into racing, has any interest, and is intimidated by it, go ahead and start. Because I was really surprised when I got into racing. I was interested in it and thought I might like it, but after doing one, I decided I really liked it, and I was looking forward to the next one very much. So, just go ahead and get started.
Good advice.
All right, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. It was a great event, really exciting.
GG.
Thank you.
And we're bringing in Carter Freak.
Hey, welcome, Carter Freak. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
We're doing great. I do just want to apologize. We've been trying to track everyone. We did miss you, but you had a fantastic finish in 5th place. How do you think the day went for you?
Oh, I'm honestly like extremely happy with how my run went. After my first 2 practice races, where Friday the 13th was an absolute disaster, I asked for some help in Discord and was like, okay, guys, I need to know how to deal with this. And I got some help there, and Lynn was also willing to help me, so I was able to figure out like a couple of backups in case things went wrong. But thankfully, during this race, everything went perfect. I didn't have to worry about like Jason going to the lake or anything like that, and most of my runs just outside of Mega Man 4 went as planned, so I was very, very happy with my time.
Yeah, I was going to say, one thing I thought was pretty impressive. You were only like 14 or 15 minutes off from your summer best. And that's, I assume now, including the 12 and a half minutes of of break time. So like, were you? It seems like you performed very, very well today.
Yeah. So one of those was because I got a new PB during the marathon, actually, for Young Indy, where I saved quite a bit of time because I didn't die very much that time. And I also got like a new PB in Rampart as well, where I finally got a 2-round for the first time ever. So that saved a fair bit of time.
Oh, GG's. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you were closer to your sum of best than almost any of the other runners we saw. So it was a really good surprise to see.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, for this being my first ever time doing a Big 20, I'm just really happy with how I performed. I was a little nervous going into the race because there was a couple games that are just they're a pain in the butt if you mess up. Like Cowboy Kid, for example, if you game over, you have to do the whole stage again or stuff like that, where you can just lose a lot of time.
Yeah, who would that happen to?
Definitely not me.
happened to
me.
So you can relate. You understand just how bad that can be.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a couple of like things that went wrong. Like Mega Man 4, I had messed up in ring stage and I ended up dying to ring boss, which thankfully I was able to buster him down. And dust is dust, so a couple things didn't go as planned, but most of the run I was just very happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like looking at the finishers, I think you're definitely the highest finisher for a first time participant. Like you're around everyone in like the top 7 or so has done many of them. So, I mean, congrats again. It was really good seeing you finish that high.
Thank you. Actually, the only reason I ended up entering this Big 20 is because on Prissy, I think it was his birthday, we were talking about the Big 20, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this for you, man. This is your birthday gift. Here, I'll do the Big 20 for you. Because he was trying to get people that interested in it, right? And I'm like, you know, I haven't done a speedrun thing in quite a while. I've been kind of out of speedrunning for a bit, so let's try something different, right? I'm glad I did because it was a lot of fun learning all the games, and had a lot of fun, like you know, meeting new people in the community.
There are very few people who do like this well compared to their sum of best. There's very few people who do this well just on their first time entering a Big 20. And like I'm looking at your time tracker now, and I'm like looking at all that everyone's sum of bests, and you're like way down on the list as far as like sum of best. You're like all the way down to 247.51, but you look at your time and it's 302. Like plus the breaks, there's only a couple minutes away. Like your consistency is insane. Like I am incredibly impressed by this. It's hard to articulate how rare that is. Like I'm looking at everyone else's sum of best and their race times, and it's wildly different compared to how compressed yours is. It is just like from a speedrunner's perspective, I'm just kind of in awe looking back and forth.
I fully understand what you're saying because like honestly, that could have gone any other way. Like if I had any games go wrong, that sum of best would have been a lot further away from what my actual time here was today. So I'm just, again, I'm really happy that everything did go as planned for the most part. I didn't have any major deaths or anything like that, like dying at the end of Faxnadu or something like that.
What did you do to try to like prepare? Like, did you do anything to make sure like you weren't nervous or to make sure you had consistency?
No, I was definitely nervous. I just practiced the games that I was most nervous about before the stream, and I'd been practicing throughout the last couple weeks as well. I did a little bit of off-stream practice for some games I was especially nervous about, and then just hopped on the day, did a bit more practice, and felt a bit more confident going into it. I was still a bit nervous, but that's just kind of a marathon nerve thing. Like if you've ever done a speed run for like charity marathons or just speed run events in general, you've probably experienced that before. But it goes away once you start actually doing the run.
I look forward to watching your VOD and just like watching your race. You might say you were nervous, but I mean, like everyone was goofing up. Like Pika died in Life Force, Prissy fumbled the ball twice in Tecmo. I got really flustered in Tecmo. Like everyone's falling apart, and just you being that close to some of the best. Like I feel you've got like a special sauce in there, and I want to pick your brain and figure out what it is.
I just done a lot of marathons, I guess. I don't really know. I've done like 2D Metroid marathons on my own time before, just as a like thing for my stream community. So that's, I guess, part of it is that I've practiced things that are like this long before. So I guess it just sticks. I don't know.
No, and I know that like OS and I have harped on this like for the entire interview, but I think it is like this. I don't think either of us have ever seen somebody who's been this close to their summit best in a race setting. And so it's just to be that consistent, like it's to be commended. Like it's really, really impressive.
Well, again, thank you.
People in chat, Nublar's saying said I wanted to pick your brain to steal your consistency strats, and he's correct. I want to figure out what you did, because like I've entered lots of big 20s. I've done well in big 20s. I still had the jitters. Like I was having trouble like getting my hands to do what I wanted to do until it was well into the event. So I'm gonna figure this out one day.
Well, I mean, you can watch the VOD back and figure out what I did, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
I wish I had an answer for you.
It's like, sorry, I'm just talented.
Yeah,
you're
it's
not.
good.
I mean, like if you were not aware that you had this ability, like join the next big 20, whether it's Prissy's birthday or not. Join the next big 20 and give it your all, because like you're just a couple minutes away from NES Cardinality, one of like the top speedrunners for the NES of all time, and like the people like me, Prissy, and Pika in the top 3, we have done tons of big 20s, and like we all streamed a lot. Like I took an entire week off work, so we're really grinding this, and so like to be that close, that consistent, and like your first time, it is very inspiring. And I want to see what happens when you come in knowing what a big 20 is intrinsically. Like you come into the next big 20, you go, I know how to practice, I know what it's going to feel like, I know what it's going to look like, here's what I'm going to do. I want to see exactly how far you get, because I am thinking you are going to be a threat.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll join the next big 20 then. As
Gotcha.
long as there's nothing coming up and I don't have any plans, yeah, I'll join in the next one.
Well, cancel your plans around like August, September.
We'll see if I can. I can't guarantee it, but I'll try my best to make sure that I can be in the next one.
So it's starting to become a tradition. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be run on the official Best of NES channel or if it's just going to be on a side channel somewhere, but we've often put together just a group of us who had like some of the higher times, and we just play all those VODs back to back, just as like a big 20 after hours, and we just comment on the runs and all the disasters. We laugh about it.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
kind of an exit thing. So, like I'm sorry that a lot of your run wasn't up on the main stream, but you did very well, and it's definitely going to be highlighted there when we do that. You're more than welcome to talk with us as we do that, and hopefully more people will be able to watch your VOD and see how insane your run was.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that it didn't get shown on the mainstream, but it's all right. Yeah, I'll
Make sure to
definitely
highlight it.
My VODs save normally anyway, so you're good there. I'll definitely highlight the whole thing for you. But yeah, just it was a fun experience. I'm glad I did it. It was again just to get myself back into speedrunning, because like I'd taken a couple of months away from speedrunning, just playing a bit more casual games and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad I jumped into it. It was a fun experience.
What were your favorite games from this list? I'm kind of curious.
My favorite game was Bobble. Bobble was so much fun.
Good.
I love that game. It's short, but it's fun.
It's wholesome too.
Yeah.
It stands out compared to like the Battletoads and Double Dragons, like grabbing ladies by their hair, and Friday the 13th axe murderers, and it's just you're a bubble. It's wholesome.
I felt that game had very good controls. Like I was actually quite surprised. I thought it was going to be a bit more loose controlling, but it was actually a very tight controlling game. Just felt good to play.
It looks like we have a couple more finishers. Shindig Pig finished with a 402, Devil Mike with a 403, Golden Ogre Games with a 404, and Trey VZ with a 409. And we have a couple of people still in progress on the main stream.
Well, I appreciate you having me in for the interview, but I think I'm going to have to hop off. I'm going to be taking care of some things around the house, so...
Oh yeah, you and me both. Like Big 20's over, now I have to go back and like clean my house and do all the things I neglected.
Yeah, be an adult for the things you've skipped the last month.
Yeah. Big shout out to my wife. she tolerates this, takes the kids to the grandparents' house on the race day, and she's just like, "Do you need anything?" As I'm just sitting there playing video games for 5 hours, I'm like, "You could get me a drink." It's like, "Sure."
Well, congrats again, Carter, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you next time in the fall.
Yep. And thank you for having me. Take it easy, everybody.
So for those of you still in the Best of NES channel, there is going to be a post-race survey. We do this every Big 20, and we'll be posting this in the Discord. So make sure you are still watching the Discord. Don't have it muted, or check it regularly, because we actively use these surveys. We use them religiously, and they tell us exactly what you think about the list, what you liked about it, what you didn't like. Did you like 4 weeks, or did you like 5 weeks more? What do you want to see in the future? How should we approach players' choice in the fall? All these things are influenced heavily, heavily, heavily by these survey results. So whether you are a viewer or a racer, you can take the survey, just check which one you are, and then you get to go through and influence how these events go. We do like to experiment.
Does look like we got a few people doing their Dragon Warrior grind, and we've got someone on Friday the 13th. Oh, got through. Oh, so that was what? That was finishing day 2, I think.
I think that's Thumb Bros in the bottom right there on Friday the 13th. The rest on Dragon Warrior.
Really, one of my favorite parts is how in Dragon Warrior 4 you have to get in the offering litter. I think that's fantastic.
Does anybody know what "don't ever litter the litter" means?
No idea, but people knew it.
I just thought it was an attempt at a pun.
Oh, I found a blog post about it. The opening line is, "I have a specific question about one joke in the game. It's so stupid that I have never forgotten it."
Oh, attempt to translate a pun from Japanese. Interesting. That's like the Famicom Boy and Blob has different
Yeah.
jelly bean names because the puns don't work the same.
The Japanese word for divine protection or divine grace is kago, but kago can also mean palanquin, which is one of those things for carrying people around.
Hmm.
So don't ever litter the litter was the translator's idea of a joke.
Ha.
Good to know. Localizing jokes is hard, but he did fail.
I mean, he at least got like the same word that means two different things, and one of them was a letter. I don't know.
Yeah, I will say, it is funny now, just not funny in the way he intended.
Yes.
So I see ZG doing the coffin strat, Sunwoo Farmer doing the coffin strat. This coffin strat was found late in the Big 20. Like everyone was doing 4-4-3 or 3-3-3, and they were wondering like, ooh, do we gamble? It's like a 2-minute time save until you can die and do it again, and then you break even, and it's like a 50% shot. Like I did 10 in a row. We found out it was a coin flip, and so it's a question of like, what's going to happen at the end? If you're only a minute ahead of somebody, they can do 3-3-3 and pass you up. So do you do 3-3-3, and then do they do 4-4-3, hoping you fail, and then they pass you up? And like it was this big gamble at the end where it was almost easier to be behind, so that way you could pick your strategy in opposition to the lead. And we found this coffin strat by accident because I I was teasing Prissy and Pika, telling them that I was going to do 3-3-3 so I could pass them up, and I convinced Pika to look into 3-3-3, and he tried it in a race. It failed miserably. Christo died, but when Christo died, someone in his chat noticed, hey, only Alina's being attacked. What are the odds of that? And someone from the Dragon Warrior 4 community, I think maybe Raceland, brought up that they actually do that later in the speed run, and that spawned the strategy. Prissy spent several hours with Raceland in his chat just going over everything, and the strategy spread like wildfire. I was very impressed with how Dragon Warrior 4 was kind of uncovered, because I did not expect this goal to be that deep.
Yeah,
you know,
it's really cool.
We mentioned during it like just how much chat there was in that chat channel. I feel like there had to be like almost 30 to 50% of the entire chat for all 20 games was focused around the Dragon Warrior 4 goal. It was incredible how much chat there was around it. And then, like you said, at the end, just figuring out even another strat at the end. There were so many like thoughts around what the prevailing like options were as the month went on.
Well, Thumbros has lost Jason. He's deciding to reset. He didn't know what to do when he lost him. Gotta have backups for your backups.
Backups for your backups for your backups.
Yeah, I played Friday the 13th very safe. I I learned very early on that if you die in the wrong place, then it's a minute at least, and probably more. One of my early runs, I had to go through like Paul and George after Mark died. I was like, this is not worth anything.
Yeah, well done on your near the end, the character swap too with the torch.
Oh yeah, the super safety.
Yep.
There's like looking for giants helped me quite a bit, because the game confused me a ton, and a lot of the decisions I made about my routes were because I had less time to practice than normal. I just had real life things coming up, like work was busy, so I couldn't take as much off that I needed to, and I very early on was like, okay, well, I'm doing dive route because it's easier and I don't have to learn balloon strats, even though it's slower. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And when it came to Friday the 13th, there was just so much to memorize. And big shout out to Looking for Giants, because she sat in chat and just listened to me rant about why am I dying? Why am I constantly losing him? Where did he go? Like, I think that was in the clip show, is me just looking for Jason, just walking through the woods.
Yeah, one of the ones that I grabbed was, it was funny, but also you weren't 100% happy. So
I
I was not happy because that clip came immediately after I had said, "Okay, I figured it out."
Well, I mean, even when we were doing the testing for it, and for a while, the lot of you were kind of watching me play live and figure it out. Like every time I was like, "Oh, I'm ready now," then I would not be ready.
Oh man, Thumbros died on day 1. So is he going to continue?
Day
Or is he going to
one.
reset? This really was a good closer. We weren't entirely sure. Like Indy was the safe choice, but Friday the 13th, better boss to end on.
We going into this, I was like, oh, it'd be interesting to see like if someone dies, some of the top runners die on Friday the 13th. It was like everyone.
Mm-hmm. Like your nerves are shot by the time you get here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is. It's like you can know what to do, but like you've been just super hyper focused for 3 hours. It's not the same thing.
No, it's not at all. And I want to give a big apology to everyone from a horror movie who I laughed at because they were like dropping their keys and scrambling. Like I get it. I get it now.
That's a funny comment. Yeah, it's like
You're
when you dream and like you can't move in your dream.
Yeah.
So you're saying Big 20, the movie, will be a thriller horror movie.
Yeah, with Cowboy Kid river jumps.
Yeah, you enjoyed that, huh?
No. I practiced it early and I found a very clean and easy setup. I was like, this is simple. Like, I'm never going to miss this. And I just didn't. And then on the race, I missed it once and then everything was off. And I had to use a full continue. And then I was like, all right, at least everything's reset. And I learned today that after you use a full continue, it does not fully reset. So it was just, I had to do it casually, and I had never done that before, which is my fault. All right, ZG has plenty of health. It's going to be taking out the chameleon. And, like, I'm not sure where everyone is, but just for the people on the screen, if someone's fighting chameleon humanoid and someone else is in Friday the 13th, you can pass them up. Like, I could have potentially passed Pika if he had died.
Yep.
Like, one more time. And so it really adds to the fear as far as like Friday the 13th goes. Like it's a scary game because if anything goes wrong, you know exactly how much time you're going to lose because the answer is almost always reset. There's very few like, oh yeah, I can just wing it. That's actually going to be faster than this route. And ZG now going into Friday the 13th. So Thumbros is ahead, but he's had a couple issues here. Oh no, Blazin went to the right. Recovered. I'm stealing, looking for Giants comments. He clunked early, but that's okay. We'll forgive him. You got to clunk on end. GG Blazin.
GG.
Yeah, I am also guilty of clunking early. It's just like your instinct is to clunk like when he dies in the screen transitions.
Yep.
And I put that time in the time tracker. Like I'm part of the group that tells you like when to clunk. And I put in the early time. And like Prissy was looking at the times like, how are people getting these times? I don't understand. And then he went through and he scrubbed through people's VODs and he was like, cheater. It was pretty good.
I mean, you it sounded like you tried to skip all that 3-minute break. You know, that's what I heard.
Yeah. I typed in chat and I pressed the button above the enter key, which pauses my timer.
Yep.
So I had people going back and like scrubbing through my VOD, making sure that I didn't lose any time. So I had an extra like 2 seconds on Davey and Neketsu. I made sure. It's 3 minutes. Yeah, for those of you wondering why our split times were often later than you would expect from like an SRC run, a lot of them are for the staff to be able to very easily see whether someone's completed a goal or not. In the past, we've had people say, oh, so-and-so didn't do this or they skipped this goal, and you have to scrub through the VOD and watch it. It's very hard to do that live. But if someone says so-and-so only did 3 bosses for Mega Man 4, we can check from where they clunked to finish, and if it's on that stage select screen, we can see exactly how many bosses were done. And similarly with Friday the 13th, you clunk on end, and that gives you time to go over to your keyboard and click on done, rather than just like clicking the button and then having to find the done button, so you lose seconds. We don't want to test people on that. Prissy says, you guys made me grind Friday the 13th. Well, Prissy, you're the only person from the top placements that didn't just get demolished. Sunwoo Farmer, did he just finish?
I'm not sure. The timer is stopped, but I haven't seen a dot done come across yet.
Sunwoo Farmer, press done.
Yeah, we did have Blazin' Beza a couple.
There it is. There it
minutes
is.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Blazin is finished with a 427. Sunwoo Farmer with a 429. And I know people get really excited about who's going to win, who's going to be top 3, top 5, top 8, top 10, like top 20. But I personally really get impressed when I see like the people that stick with it. And as an event goes longer, and like someone comes in and they go, I just had a disaster. I lost this full game. I had to reset. I'm going to push through. They get to say, I did it at the end. Like, that's just, it's the coolest thing. Like, it's NES gaming in a nutshell. Never give up. That's right, Prissy.
I don't want to swap some streamers yet, just because I don't want to miss an ending possibly from ZG here. And also Thumbros. Let's go! I'm probably a little bit early.
GG, ZG. The delay's not bad. You were maybe half a second early.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and figure out some next runners.
It's impressive. Yeah, we are almost at 50 finishers, which I feel like this has been one of the better ones for like a non-best of, for having this many finishers within 2 hours of the winner. Okay, it looks like we brought in Link on the top left.
Yep, I'll be swapping the names. Link in the top left. Scroke top right. American Dweem bottom left. Then we still have Thumbros in bottom right.
Nice. kind of nice to see some RC Pro Am again. It's been a while that we've just been seeing Dragon Warrior and Friday the 13th.
True, true.
As Grok takes a death. That does thrust Link into the lead ahead of Miss Grok. It is the all-important rush for the race for the 50th finisher.
Everyone watching this race, if you've enjoyed watching this, there's no prize for this. It's nothing but honor and glory. Like, it's just challenging yourself and doing the best you can. So if you enjoy watching events like these, follow the runners. Follow the people that are getting the top placements, getting the mid placements, follow everybody. And it'll help spread more NES on Twitch. Like, Prissy right now is going for partner. He would appreciate all of the follows and lurks that you can give him. But that kind of support while someone is practicing for a Big 20 encourages them to join in the future and to try really hard. You might have noticed that just about everybody at this event cares about the outcome. When something bad happens, you see on their face that they didn't want that to happen. It's not just like, oh, it happens. It's a real thing. So follow these runners, watch them, help encourage them to join more of these events. They take it seriously. They put a lot of time into it. And it's a way that you can just reward them for doing so and encourage more of these events in the future. Because these events are going to continue as long as there are people willing to join them.
Yeah, well said.
Rayson says the reward is to get your name and color in the next tracker sheet. That's
True.
Although I did find a glitch in that. We're going to have to fix that. When someone deletes their sheet, it shifts all the columns over, but it doesn't shift the color. And so, like, the color just moves.
Oh, you lose your color.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter so much for the people earlier in the sheet, but for later, like Prissy, I was constantly having to put his color back. Yeah, don't delete your sheet. We gotta add some pop-ups. So when someone deletes your sheet, it's like, do you really want to do this? And when they click yes, it just says, no, you don't.
Prissy, we popped off for you choosing Lala. Just saying.
Did he pet the cat?
He did
Well-
pet the cat.
Both him and Pika pet the cat.
I did too. All of the top 3 pet the cat.
Clearly pet the cat for good RNG.
Mm-hmm. Did you see my grind fights? It was excellent.
Yeah, a little bit. Looked good. Did you have 24 health? For
I think
Elena?
I had 22.
22, okay.
But the thing that saved me a ton of time was I fought the Trogs. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Trogs were back, and I used that opportunity to kill Christo just with regular attack, so I didn't have to use Ice Bolt. They also attacked Christo, and then they kept calling for reinforcements. I ended up getting like 24 experience from one fight, and so it was immediate level 2.
Nice.
Ooh, we are going to compile a full list of who pet the cat, correct? I will leave that to you, Boggle. You make the list, I'll pin it.
Miss Grok takes another death.
Looks like Link777 has finished.
Let's go.
Congrats, Link. 50th place.
That's a lot of people for a spring Big 20. It's great. Cat petters get 2 times votes and fall.
Deserved.
Big props to Thumbros. Like, he was green going into Friday the 13th, and it's giving him a ton of trouble. And he just says, no, thank you. I'm going to continue now. Like, he hasn't hesitated for a second. Like, something goes wrong. He's like, well, I guess that's a reset. And he just keeps going.
Can't let Jason win.
Kind of fitting. He's got the little Mac running there. It's just another day at the office, another day working out,
Yep.
getting in the reps.
Miskro grabbing the vitamins with Mark. That I thought the vitamins with Mark were just kind of it's okay. But I actually used them in my race. Like during the first fight on day 1, I would have died after having to reset, which would have been awful. But also knowing that you can swap to Mark on day 3 if you chase Jason to the lake. Having vitamins on him means that whether you're doing rock percent or you're like swapping the torch to him, like it actually is a big race safety.
Yeah, I think for a while I was like, that really isn't needed. I don't know why people are bothering, but I think for a while I didn't quite understand how Jason can be a little more aggressive sometimes than others. So
I never really figured out what put him in berserk mode, but every once in a while he'll like zoom really far into the screen and hug you against your will.
yeah.
Non-consensual hugs. All right,
Not-
Thumbo's taking some damage here. Wait. Oh, that's the end of day 2, Jason. He's even stronger. Here you go, Thumbros. Day 3. Oh, Miss Grok may have lost Jason.
I think this music playing is super glove ball funny with Link on screen that ended up happening. Link is bringing up chicken at the farm.
Yep. That was last year, sir.
Let's Thumbros did get a GG.
The end. GG Thumbros. I'm very impressed by that tenacity.
Yeah, it's really, really easy to give up, especially like
Thumbros,
right at the end.
dot done. Dot done.
You gotta click the done button.
Somebody go into Thumbro's chat and tell him the dot done.
Oh Oh, he went to Skullman for victory music. I did the same thing.
Oh, that's funny.
I didn't even play Skullman. It's just great, happy victory music. It's the Snake Man of Mega Man 4.
Also, if you're going to Thumbros' chat, I think there's 2 B's. I think Apollo has misspelled it.
Oh. Huh. Interesting.
I wish the spectate feature in race time would only show people that didn't have finished times and
Yeah.
not everyone who's still currently live.
Yeah, that's fair.
That would be very helpful. We do have a lot of people still playing. Some people are playing blind, so they just said, "You know what? This looks fun," and they just jumped directly in, which I might want to do someday. It'll be hard to pass in a Big 20, but if there's ever a Big 20 I can't do for some reason, like I can't practice for it, I think I would want to join their ranks. Infinite Mystery still playing famously has joined every Big 20 basically blind. He might have like looked at the games once.
Yeah, I mean he's played a ton of NES games, so it's probably not always completely blind, but the majority, yeah, they are usually blind.
Say GG Miss Groke. It's now currently a race of who hits .done first.
They
Your
both
time's-
completed the race.
Your time's not done until you click done.
This is exciting. I should just blow up the leaderboard and put that just main screen.
Yeah, it looks like Thumbros is a Ninja Gaiden 1 any percent speedrunner.
Oh, there's Miss Groke.
Hey, Ms. Groke got in there at 51st.
Okay. Nice.
I like the Jason mask on Mappy Man's screen. Oh, and Thumbros has done in
There we go.
52nd as well. So I want to say it was about 5 minutes after he finished, but the official race time is almost
Right.
4:47.
Yeah, you gotta click that .done button. It's very cathartic to click that .done.
Yeah, it's either yes, we're done, or whew, thankfully we're finally done, or you know what, I did it. Let's relax. Looks like Salmon Buffalo took a death on the T-Rex.
I started having to do this T-Rex way slower. I kept getting eaten when I got too close to the bottom, and it killed my shoulder trying to mash hard enough to kill him. I just had to find an alternate. No shame in being eaten by a T-Rex. If you're gonna be eaten by something, like that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
Got through the fight the second time really easily though.
Sometimes you just need to like shake off the stress a little bit. You get one error, and then you get back to your training. You're like, okay, this is what I did. Now this is what I practiced. So I'm going to be hopping off comms, but I do want to say the Big 20 is not the end. Not only is there going to be another Big 20 in the fall, but we are planning some other events as well, some of which may pop up in the summer, some of which may pop up in the coming weeks and be related to this Big 20. We're still discussing some ideas, but if you enjoyed the Big 20, if you participated or you wish you had participated, keep in the Discord, keep watching it. There may be some announcements coming up soon.
Well, congrats again on your finish over Swarm. It was a lot of fun watching you race, and thanks for joining to help us keep the stream going.
Thanks. I wanted top 3, and I got 3rd. I was constantly asking, where's NES Cardinality? Where's NES Cardinality? He didn't use the time tracker. I don't know why he doesn't, but it makes him like he's Jason. Like he's like
the guy
always
that
right
pops
behind
out
you.
of nowhere. Yeah, but I mean, good news. He did mention next time he is going to use the tracker.
Excellent. And I made a prediction after my stream. I said, I'm just going to say it right now. NES Cardinality, one day, he's not going to be like wondering whether he'll join the Big 20. He's going to say, I'm going to join the Big 20. He'll say, I'm going to use the time tracker and I want to get, and he'll have some placement in mind, like win top 3, top 5, something. But the moment he does that, the Big 20, he does that, I think he's probably going to win it because you can like look at his last Big 20, like where he practiced and what he did, and then look at this Big 20, what he practiced, what he did, and you can see the efficiency like improve drastically. So it's it's kind of scary when someone of NES Cardinality's caliber starts to figure out what a Big 20 like is and what it means to them and how to practice and how it fits with how they play. He's going to be one of the largest threats come fall or spring, whenever he joins next.
Yeah, I think you should be a little worried because he did mention like he learned a ton watching you and Pika and Prizzy this time about like how to not just play the safe strats, but find ways to make the fastest strats safer.
Yeah.
And so he had said that is his goal for next time is to and so like I think you're right to worry. He will probably be on a level above where he even normally is, which is very high, obviously.
Yeah, there are very few NES speedrunners that I would just say like are an embodiment of NES speedrunning. Like you can see like big streamers like Arcus and like talented like hard-working Big 20 players, like all of these people, they're all in the spotlight. And NES Cardinality is always very humble, and he's very like approachable and friendly and kind, and he helps everyone, and he's always having a blast. And so you might not think of him, but the guy's a shark. Like he has so many world records. He's so scary.
Yeah, we'll have to see. That's the cliffhanger for next time.
Yeah. All right, later, everybody.
See ya.
So what's the plan, Apollo?
I don't know, I think let's see. Link was in here. I'm gonna call him back out real quick, and then we'll get ready to maybe push it over to someone else.
So we do have Salmon Buffalo making his way through. Looks like stage 3 of Jurassic Park, where you got to turn on the power and then go activate all the computers again. Mappy Man is making his way through Battle Kit.
And as we're watching that, Link, we brought in Link. Link GG. I saw you were hiding a bit in the other call, and then you couldn't get away. We brought you back. So
Yeah, that's good. Well, thanks for the restream, guys. I'll have to check it out later, see how it went.
yeah, no, it was good. I hope your race went well, and I feel like you specifically tailored how you were going to finish and when you were going to finish, so that you could show off Chicken of the Farm on the stream.
Yeah, I noticed that I was still on the restream for a while, so I figured I should do something.
I mean, that's a good something. But so how'd the race go? How'd you like this list? Some games you really enjoyed?
I think it was a good list. Like most of the games on there, other than probably Young India, I thought were at least decent. I struggled a bit with Young Indy, but I practiced it enough. Overall I didn't have a ton of practice time, and I feel like I performed accordingly. I think I did well for how much practice time I had. Seemed like most of the race was just slow and steady. Made my way through, game overed here and there and lost some time, but didn't get like super stuck on any specific spot. So I think it was a good race. I'm happy with it.
That's good. I'm glad you had felt like you had a good race. Are there some any of these games that you like knew much coming into it, or any games you want to play a little bit?
I ran Bubble early, like shortly after it was released, so I put pretty much no time into that one because I don't remember all the specifics, and they changed a little bit in 1.2 and whatever. But I felt like that was an easy one because I had run it before. A fair number of these other ones I'd at least played before, not at a high level or anything. So
I think you've done a few big 20s in the past. I feel like you have a good grasp of at least even just a little bit, just some like simple knowledge of a lot of games out there. So
yeah, there was just a lot to learn in this one. Like Friday the 13th ended up, I think, being easier than I thought it was gonna be, but without like the tutorial and stuff, I would have been like still playing it.
yeah, I think we were lucky that a lot of the games in this list definitely had either good knowledge base like already that could be pulled in, or just like people just found and shared so much stuff. So it was cool.
Yeah, that was good.
Good. Any particular game went rough, or you know what? How do you feel about one of the things we did was swap from, I think a lot of times you have like a 5-week practice time. This was a 4-week this time. Did that affect you at all? Did you do anything different, or you kind of just came in, learned the games, same as always?
I think I think another week would have been helpful for practice time, but also, it's with other real life stuff going on, it's just as well to pack it in a little tighter and get it done and then move on to some other things. So it's a mix. I don't think I would have had a ton of time to practice in the next week either, so it would have been slightly helpful, but also slightly more disruptive to the family and other stuff. So
That's fair. Although, Big 20 is clearly should be number one priority for everyone. So yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad, a lot of different types of games in this list. So it's good to hear some good things. I'm glad it looked like your race went pretty well too. So
yeah, and I'd encourage people to keep watching. I think you guys are probably going to end pretty soon, but to keep watching some of the people that have come in blind and are still racing and will probably be racing for a bunch of hours to come. So it's always fun to try to give those guys some encouragement and help, and see if they can get it done.
yeah, no, good. It's always a good community effort, and that's like you kind of teed it up a little bit. I think we're we were going to be kind of closing up mainstream shop a little bit, but like you said, there's still still a few people running. We can throw like the race time link in chat so people can find everyone's still going, and we were gonna kind of go cheer on someone still playing as well.
I see 11 still going. So.
And congrats on 50th place exactly, Link.
Yeah, 50th exactly. That's an easy one to remember. Yeah, thanks. It was a fun list, I think. It was good.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks for hopping in, chatting with us for a little bit. It's always good to talk to you, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you in a stream or your stream soon, or in a chat somewhere. So
for sure. All right, thanks guys. Have a good one.
Have a good
You
one.
too. Later, Link.
Yeah. So with that, I think we're gonna start getting ready to send out a raid. But just real quick, want to definitely thank everyone who kind of helped leading up to this, and thank today. We got commentary, Mythical, Nanophone. Nick, as always, it's always a fun time doing this with you. I'm glad you always tolerate being here with me. So it's always great.
One of my favorite days of the year.
Of course, it always is. And then looking for giants, Overswarm, Lack Attack, Mother Brain helping with the list in the background. Bad Breaks over there. We still have going strong, and we will be keeping it going.
Yeah, just want to say congrats to all the runners. Like, competing in a Big 20 is such an immense amount of work, no matter how much time you put in. And so I hope everyone just takes it as a big accomplishment, whether they met their goals or not. Hopefully they can look back on it fondly, because it was super fun to watch. I was glad to be a part of it. And yeah, always fun to spend a few hours with you, Apollo. Thank you for doing everything that you do for this.
Yeah, no, it's a fun. I mean, I just enjoy the camaraderie, and that was not English, but it's been a couple hours. But yeah, as we're getting ready to raid, I think we're gonna actually go watch someone who's been in a lot of Big 20s, Infinite Mystery. But I also just want to call it quick as we're setting that up. American Dweem and who do I have in the Tool are both on Friday 13th. So like, I might like, as we raid, just see if they can get a quick finish before we send it over there. So I'm keeping an eye on that as well. Yeah, make sure, more events will be coming. So we will be here. We will be everyone in chat, everyone that raced, participated, watched. Thank you.
Dweem has taken a death, unfortunately.
That is unfortunate. Friday 13th, not free. In the least. We're gonna give Tool a chance here. Actually, I think Tool's looking for. Tool might be in the wrong spot right now. So
Tool seems a little confused.
I know that feeling so well.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I do wonder how much practice Tool had. His splits go games 1 through 10, 11 through I'm trying to look 18 maybe. And then it looks like a lot of his is maybe not a ton of practice. I don't know.
Yeah, so I did. We set up the raid. Let's all go say hi to Infinite Mystery. But as I said, here's the I'm gonna post it in chat again. This is the race time link. I'm literally going to open up everyone's stream in here that's still racing, and I'm gonna go watch them. I'm gonna go watch them all. So, GG's all.
Yeah. Have a good night, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the day.